in silence. Then a sound. Soft footsteps across frozen earth. Breath in the cold. A boy runs through the mist of an early Finnish morning, where the sky is pale as milk and the air smells of pine and snow. No one calls his name. No crowds cheer. Still, he runs, faster, smoother, as if the world itself were pulling him forward. They will one day call him Paavo Nurmi, the flying Finn. But now, he is only a boy who refuses to stop. Paavo grew up in the north, where winters are long and quiet. He ran through fields, along the edges of frozen rivers, and some say he chased the trains that thundered past his village. No one knew if the story was true, what everyone wanted to believe it. When others rested, Paavo ran. When others played, he trained, tying heavy boots to his feet to make his legs strong. He wasn't the fastest yet, but he was the most stubborn. In 1920, Paavo was chosen to run for Finland at the Antwerp Olympics. The world had just come out of war, and every runner carried the hope of a new beginning. He won 3 gold medals in the 10,000 meters, the cross-country, and the team race, and 1 silver in the 5,000. That silver changed everything. He had lost to a Frenchman, Joseph Guillemot, in the final stretch. The crowd cheered, but Paavo felt only silence inside. He had run with his heart, not his head. Too fast at the start, too slow at the end. That night he made a promise. Never again would he lose to his own mistakes. The next morning, people saw him running again. In his hand, something new. A stopwatch. Tick, tick, tick. Each step a number, each breath a measure. Paavo began to run not against men, but against time itself. He studied his body like a scientist, measured every stride, trained every day in snow, in rain, in silence. The watch became part of him, as if it ticked in his blood. Soon the world took notice. From Stockholm to Berlin, Paavo Nurmi was unstoppable. He broke 22 world records from 1 mile to 20 kilometers. At one point, he held 3 world records at once: the mile, the 5,000, and the 10,000. He went undefeated in more than 100 races. Reporters called him the Phantom Finn because no one could catch him. But even perfection can become a wall. When you've run every race the same way, how do you go faster? By 1924, others were learning from him, matching his pace, studying his method. So Paavo sought something new. That summer, at the Paris Olympics, he faced his greatest test. 2 finals, only 2 hours apart. The 1,500 meters and the 5,000. Even his coaches said, "It can't be done." Paavo only looked at his watch and nodded. The sun burned hot on the track. In the 1,500 meters, he started faster than ever, 3 seconds ahead of his own world record pace. The others tried to follow and fell behind. Gold. Then, barely rested, he stepped to the line again for the 5,000 meters. His rival, Ville Ritola, strong, rested, relentless, the gun. Ritola sprinted ahead, testing him, trying to break him. But Paavo stayed calm, each step measured, each breath steady. Halfway through, he moved past Ritola, not in anger, but with quiet certainty. As they neared the finish, Ritola launched one last desperate sprint. Paavo looked once at his watch and let it fall onto the grass. He no longer needed it. The rhythm lived inside him. He crossed the line, just ahead by less than a stride. Gold, again, another record, again. That day, Paavo Nurmi won 5 Olympic gold medals, 3 alone, 2 with his team, a record still unmatched. Years passed. Paavo kept running, still winning. 1928, Amsterdam, another gold, 2 silvers. But soon, officials accused him of breaking the rules for accepting small payments. They called him a professional. They banned him. So, he walked away. He built a quiet life, a businessman, a husband, a man who still ran when no one was watching. The fire dimmed, but never died. Then came 1952, Helsinki. The Olympic Games returned home to Finland. And it was Paavo, gray-haired, steady as ever, who carried the Olympic flame into the stadium. The crowd rose, cheering, crying. He held the torch high, and for a moment the light flickered in his eyes like all the races he ever ran. When people asked him how he became so great, Paavo only smiled and said softly, "I ran for myself, not for Finland." He didn't believe in luck or miracles. He believed in process. Every victory, he said, was built from thousands of small, measured steps, from the habit of doing things just a little better each day. He knew perfection isn't a moment, it's a rhythm, the steady heartbeat of improvement. He showed the world that gold medals are not won in the final sprint. They're won in the mornings when no one is watching, in the hours when only the sound of your own breath keeps you company. Now, when the story ends and the crowd goes quiet, you might still hear something faint, the sound of that little stopwatch ticking through time. Tick, tick, tick. The heartbeat of a man who learned to run not faster, but truer. And if you listen closely, you may find that same rhythm in your own heart, too. Paavo Johannes Nurmi, the Flying Finn, won 9 Olympic golds, 3 silvers, and set 22 world records. The man who made running a science, and turned time itself into his greatest rival. He changed not only how we run, but why we run.